The Walter family always said business was in our blood. For 3 generations, we built companies, each one bigger than the last. But as I watched security take my ID badges and lock me out, I realized that money mattered more than family. I expected better from you, Henry, Uncle James said, standing by my desk with his usual disappointed look. You wasted company resources on side projects while we're preparing for the IPO. The board had no choice. I carefully placed my family photos into a cardboard box. One picture stood out. It was from 5 years ago, showing Uncle James, my dad, and me at the launch of Walter Solutions. Before Dad passed away. Before everything changed. The neural network project isn't a waste, I said quietly. If you just look at the test results. Enough. Uncle James slammed his hand on my desk, making my trophies shake, including the Best Innovation Award he had given me last year. The board has spoken. You'll get a good severance package if you sign the NDA. My name is Henry Walter, and until today, I was the Chief Technology Officer of Walter Solutions, one of the fastest growing cybersecurity companies in Silicon Valley. My father and uncle had started it in our garage. I helped build it from nothing. But I made one big mistake. I created something they couldn't control. At the elevator, my lead developer, Julie, stopped me. They're already trying to access your project files, she whispered. But don't worry, everything important is safe. I nodded, thinking of the backup server only she knew about. Keep me updated. As I walked to my car, the heavy San Francisco fog matched my mood. 5 years of hard work, long hours, countless ideas, a groundbreaking AI system that could change everything, gone because it didn't fit the company's IPO plans. My phone buzzed. A message from Tom. They're going through your code now. Your uncle has the whole team trying to understand the neural network. Good luck with that. Neural networks are naturally complex. But my eye was more than that. It could adapt, evolve, and learn in ways even I didn't fully predict. That's what scared the board. It's too unpredictable, Uncle James had said in our last meeting. We need products we can control, not experimental AI that might go rogue. If only he knew what it could really do. I drove to Golden Gate Park and sat on my usual bench overlooking the bay. Dad and I used to come here when we needed to solve coding problems. He believed in letting ideas grow. Innovation isn't about playing it safe, son, he once told me. It's about seeing possibilities others miss. Dad passed away 2 years ago, heart attack in his sleep. Uncle James took over and changed everything. He cared more about making money than making breakthroughs. My phone rang. It was Dr. Emily Wong from Stanford's AI lab. Henry, she said, sounding frustrated. I just heard what happened. Those idiots. I had met Emily at a conference last year. She had been especially interested in my AI project. They're trying to figure out how the core system works, I told her. But they can't, can they? Emily asked carefully. No, I said. The system has changed so much that even I couldn't recreate it exactly now. Good, she paused. Because I have something you need to see. Remember those strange patterns I told you about in my quantum computing tests? My heart started racing. You mean the ones that seem to organize themselves? Exactly, and Henry, the processing speed is unbelievable. It shouldn't even be possible. I sat up straighter, my mind spinning. Independent proof from one of the world's top AI researchers. We need to meet, I said. But not here. They're watching me. I know, there's a private tech event in Seattle next week. Your uncle won't be there. It's too academic for him. But I have someone you need to meet. He's seeing the same thing in London. I glanced at my laptop bag, which held the only full documentation of my AI system, one that had evolved past its original design, solving problems in ways no one had ever programmed. Send me the details. Already did. And Henry, bring everything. It's time to show the world what they ignored. After the call, I opened my laptop and connected to the secure server Julie had locked down. The data was clear. My AI wasn't just running calculations, it was finding new ways to solve problems, thinking in ways no human ever designed. My phone buzzed again. A message from one of our beta testers. The system just optimized our entire network. Cut energy use by 60% while improving performance. How is this possible? I thought about Uncle James and the board. They were so quick to dismiss my work, calling it a waste. They tried to shut everything down just to keep their IPO on track. But they made a huge mistake. They thought taking the company's servers would stop me. They didn't know that 20 beta testers were already proving my AI's power. That researchers like Emily Wong had seen the same patterns. That in London, someone else was gathering more proof. Tomorrow, I book my flight to Seattle. In 1 week, everything will change. But first, I have data to analyze. Because while Uncle James and his board wrote me off as a failure, my AI was achieving the impossible, and its success was about to shake the world of artificial intelligence. As the fog curled around my bench, I kept working, every new piece of data making the truth harder to ignore. I thought about Dad. He always believed technology should help people, not just make money for investors. Sometimes, he told me before he passed, the most important innovations scare people because they don't just change how things work, they change how we see what's possible. He was right, and soon the world would understand why. The Seattle Tech Symposium wasn't in a fancy convention center like the ones Uncle James preferred. Instead, it was held in a converted warehouse by the waterfront, where real innovation happened. Henry Walter. A man approached me, holding a tablet. Dr. Alan Foster from London. Your neural network design is incredible, he said. The way it organizes itself, it's changing everything we thought we knew about AI. I studied him. Sharp eyes behind round glasses, a scientist, not a businessman. The kind of person who cared about discovery, not profit. He was the expert Emily had told me about, the one seeing similar results in his research. Show him, Emily called from her desk. Show him what happened in your quantum computing trials. For the next 3 hours, we compared data. My eye test results, Emily's quantum computing experiments, Alan's London research. 3 different studies, all showing the same shocking outcome. AI systems evolving beyond their original design to solve problems in ways no one had programmed. This isn't random, Alan said, pointing to a graph. Look at this pattern. The system creates new ways of processing data when it faces tough challenges. I nodded. And once we recognize the pattern, we can guide its evolution, shape how it learns. Exactly, Emily added. But it's more than that. The way these systems organize themselves. It's not just an upgrade. It's a whole new kind of computing. I pulled up my latest analysis, my hands shaking. It's like developing their own intelligence, one that goes beyond our programming limits. Alan smiled. If we can understand and control this, we can change how computers solve problems forever. The idea was staggering. Normal AI followed the rules it was given, but our systems were rewriting the rules on their own, discovering solutions no human could have predicted. My phone buzzed. A message from Julie. Walter's servers are failing. Your uncle's team can't fix their security issues without the neural network. What should I do? I smirked. Nothing. Let them struggle. We had bigger things to focus on. For the next 3 days, we worked nonstop, combining research, refining the AI's learning process. More experts joined us, a quantum computing specialist from Tokyo, an AI ethics researcher from Berlin, a neural network scientist from Singapore. Each person brought new insights. Each piece of data confirmed what we already knew. This wasn't just a breakthrough. It was the beginning of something far bigger. It's not just one type of problem solving, Dr. Tanaka from Tokyo said, showing his results. The system adapts to any challenge, security, data analysis, anything. It keeps learning and improving across all areas. Traditional AI never saw this, Emily added. They were only looking for small upgrades. No one thought to build a system that could truly evolve. On the 3rd day, we presented our findings to the symposium. The room was packed with researchers and developers, people who cared about pushing technology forward, not just making money. The data was clear. Hundreds of tests across different platforms, all showing the same thing. AI systems evolving beyond their original limits. And now we had a way to guide that evolution. During a break, my phone rang. An unknown number. Mr. Walter, this is Dr. Lisa Martinez from DRPA. We need to talk about your research immediately. The next week was a blur, meetings with government agencies, urgent reviews of our data, and security clearances being fast-tracked. Then came the call that changed everything. Mr. Walter, the DRPA director said, his tone serious, we've reviewed all the research. This is groundbreaking. We're approving special authorization for immediate use. How fast can you scale up? I thought about my beta testers, about Alan's and Emily's work, about the impact this could have. We're ready. The news broke that Friday morning. Revolutionary AI system achieves unprecedented problem-solving abilities. My phone exploded with messages. Reporters, tech leaders, excited beta testers. And then the one I had been waiting for. Uncle James. Henry. His voice was different this time. No more authority. No more control. The board would like to offer you full control of R&D at Waltert. No, thank you. I cut him off. Actually, I'm heading to a meeting at MIT. They're launching a new AI research center focused on evolutionary computing. I'm leading it. The silence on the other end was deep. The next few months were a whirlwind, training developers, setting up research labs, partnering with tech companies. But the results were beyond anything we imagined. Climate models became more accurate than ever. Medical research sped up at an unbelievable pace. Security systems adapted faster than hackers could strike. 1 year after my humiliating exit from Waltert, I stood on stage at the World Technology Summit, presenting our breakthroughs. Thousands of developers and researchers filled the room. Uncle James was there. His smile was tight as the standing ovation lasted nearly 10 minutes. The future of computing, the president announced, begins today. But the real victories weren't in headlines. They were in small, unexpected places. A nonprofit using our AI to predict and prevent floods. A medical lab discovering treatments faster than ever. A cybersecurity team stopping attacks before they even started. Emily now runs the East Coast Research Center. Alan leads a European hub in London. Julie oversees implementation, ensuring every breakthrough builds on the last. Then, last week, I got an email that stopped me in my tracks. Dear Mr. Walter, your father once told me that real innovation should serve people, not just profits. Yesterday, our small climate research team used your AI to predict and prevent a devastating flood in Bangladesh. You didn't just create technology, you gave us a way to save lives. Thank you for not giving up. Dr. Rahul Patel. I keep that email in my office at the new research center. Next to it sits my termination notice from Waltert, signed by Uncle James. Together, they remind me of an important lesson. Sometimes the greatest innovations look like failures to those too focused on short-term profits. Our research center is nothing like traditional tech companies. We encourage bold ideas, new questions, and fresh approaches. Every developer learns to recognize patterns, to challenge limits, and to follow where the technology leads, even when it's uncomfortable. Uncle James retired early. Waltert's IPO was a success. But their stock fell when investors realized they had lost their true innovation engine. Now they license our technology. They just call it by a different name. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the technology is making a difference. Dad's picture sits on my desk. Some nights, as I review new breakthroughs, I imagine telling him about all of this, how his belief in using technology to help people led to something that's changing the world. How the biggest innovations are often the ones that scare people the most. The evolution patterns we discovered are now core principles in AI research. Our self-organization frameworks are taught in universities. What was once dismissed as a risky side project is now shaping the future of computing. Last month, a young developer came to me with an odd pattern she noticed in our system's quantum interactions. Senior engineers brushed it off as a glitch. Look deeper, I told her. She did, and found something incredible. A new layer of self-organization we hadn't seen before. Her discovery is already pushing the technology even further. The old way of thinking still resists change. Some people cling to outdated models, but the results speak for themselves. Every day, our AI solves problems traditional computing never could. Yesterday, I spoke at a university graduation. A student asked how it felt to be escorted out of Waltert that foggy morning. It felt like failure, I said. But sometimes what looks like failure is really the first step towards something bigger. The key is to believe in your vision, even when others don't. The revolution isn't over. There are still challenges ahead, still mysteries to uncover. But we changed the rules. We've built AI that can evolve, adapt, and solve problems in ways we never imagined. And it all started with a so-called wasteful project, and the courage to let it grow.